Good morning. It's back to the Planet Crafter today, and I've had quite a bit of coffee. Just straight up black coffee, no cream, no sugar. That's how I like it. Anyway, it's time to go back to Selenia. Last video I said I was prepared. Yes, I got my food, my water, my oxygen. And what should the next goal be? Well, I think I thought about it last night. Probably the next goal should be to build a Tech 2, or excuse me, a map information satellite. If I remember right, this satellite will highlight the various ores on the map. So I need my microchip compass, 2 osmium, 1 super alloy rod. I think that would be a good course of action. I do not have... Well, there we go. There's compass. There's 2 of those. And there might... Well, isn't that fortunate? Oh, I do not have the rocket engine. I have the Tech 2 rocket engines, but I do not have the Tech 1. Has anything grown yet? That's a negatory. So I do believe there are some rocket engines in the abandoned dome over here. So it's time for another excursion. Hopefully this next rocket launch will go better than the last 2. The first one, the rocket didn't move at all. The second one, the rocket flew off horizontally. It was quite funny. As I said earlier, the rockets are supposed to fly straight up. It reminds me of an episode of The Simpsons when Homer Simpson was flying a hot air balloon. He said, "Okay, the hot air balloon only goes up and down, not side to side or back in time." I studied time travel once when I was in 8th grade because I found it interesting. Time travel is possible, just very difficult. Very difficult. One way of describing time is that what we perceive as time is really just the 4th dimension intersecting with the 3rd dimension. But I digress. That's a little bit beyond the scope of this video. Now, I need a T1 rocket engine. The osmium rod is good. So these are serving. Okay, T5 backpack. That is another good thing that I should build. Excellent. And I just got my rocket engine. Okay, so, well, I do want more of this. Fertilizer, super alloy. Okay, so I think the plan should be to build the rocket, then build the Tech 5 backpack. Allow me to carry more items. Well, I'm flying back. I'm going to have more of my coffee. It's nice and foggy today. And what is fog? Fog is nothing more than a low cloud. It's a cloud on the ground. How long would it take to terraform a planet? Well, this is video game. Accelerated timeline. Probably hundreds, if not thousands of years. I believe it was once calculated that It would take something like 10,000 years, maybe, to terraform Mars. Mars has a lot of unique challenges, though. We're not going to be terraforming Mars anytime soon. The moon, however, is relatively close, only about 238,000 miles away. The moon would probably be our first step toward terraforming it. What we learn on if we were to try to terraform the moon. Don't tell me this thing spawned directly inside the ice crystal, which is exactly what it did. Well, alright. This may be the most problematic launch yet. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's doing... Okay, it's going off that direction. Alright. Launching rockets is like a box of chocolates. You'll never know what you're going to get. Okay, I'm going to save. Now it's time to make that T5 backpack. Well, last time the first rocket didn't move at all. The second one went off that way, but the third one went off that way. I wonder which direction will the next one go. Actually, I might as well get some water real quick. Gonna drop these off. Okay, T5 backpack. Super alloy, super alloy, super alloy, titanium. Do I have a unit of titanium in here? Yep. Perfect. I can carry a little more. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Excellent. Now, what else can I build? Do I do another excursion? Yeah, decisions. Water cycle. 9 kilowatt hours. Do I increase pressure? Yeah, let me think now. I might want to increase pressure, but although the biomass might be a good thing as well. We got someone mowing the lawn outside. Okay. Hopefully that doesn't interfere too much. Let me see. Let me think now. Plants of 80 tons. We're only at 4 kilograms. Let me think here. Do I want more biomass? Probably. Do I have the necessary... Yeah, that's for plants. I would want... Well, another nuclear reactor might be good. Actually, that might be... It might behoove me to... But I don't have the super alloy for that. I need 3 super alloy. I need 1 more super alloy. Do I? Well, there might be aluminum. I'm not going to cannibalize it. No, let's see here. Iron, silicon, cobalt, aluminum. I don't need to unnecessarily... Yeah, I do have aluminum seed. Okay, so I think the plan is I'm going to build another nuclear reactor. Let me think here. Real quick. Super alloy. Okay, aluminum and cobalt. That's what I need. That's easy enough. There's the cobalt right there. I bet you can hear the lawnmower in the background. Yep. My microphone is very sensitive. This is a Blue Yeti. Gifted to me by my stepmother. I'm grateful for. It's a very nice microphone. Excellent microphone. I'm going to make a super alloy. There it is. Aluminium. Okay, nuclear reactor, then another grass spreader. Interesting thing about grass, bamboo is a type of grass. People probably already know that. Apparently it grows so quickly that you can sometimes, in some cases, you can actually watch it grow with your own eyes. Another interesting fact I heard is that palm trees are actually a form of grass. They're not actually a tree, they are technically a giant grass. Palm trees. Okay, now I need a... Okay, magnesium aluminum lermaseed. I noticed, so I was rewatching some of my videos, and I noticed that even though I have this module here that allows me to pin recipes up at the upper left corner, I tend to just say them out loud. Actually, I do have a magnesium. Might as well use up what was in my storage at first in order to clean up the clutter of the storage lockers. Okay, we've got another environmental event. Sulfur's a good thing. I'll use that later. Right now I need aluminum. I really need to get in the habit of saying aluminium. That is scientifically correct. But this is good. This is good. I do believe this is iron, and well, these are the basic ores. When it's red like this, and when it's red like this, and the asteroid impacts are yellow color. Save real quick. Nice. Yeah, might as well clean up this moon. Make water. Although, why should I do that when I can just go to the water collector? Which, speaking of which, there we go. Well, as I said, sometimes they have a super alloy meteor shower, which is what I would really want. See, we got iron, cobalt. Well, I might as well get cobalt. And another cobalt, make another oxygen bottle. Yeah, I will need more of those. I cannot explain why it does that sometimes. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. I wonder if I should... oh yes, T2 satellite, the map information satellite. Okay. Later on, you can build an auto crafter where I just feed it the input materials and it will automatically make things instead of me clicking on the oxygen bottles every single time. Well, I will not need oxygen bottles every single time later on. Once I reach enough terraformation, I can just breathe the air. Okay, this delivered ice, but yeah, it's not. I mean, thank you for the minerals. I could really use some super alloy. Let's see if I can get hit by this one. So this is what happens when you get hit by one of these asteroids. It takes you down. Very low health. And you get an achievement for that. Obviously, I got that in my last on the planet Prime, so they're not going to give me the achievement again, but that... Oh, is my audio getting too high? Hold up. There we are. That should be better. One of the first things I just noticed, I was checking my recording software, OBS Studio. I guess my audio game was a bit high. I apologize for that. When I took video production in high school a couple years, and we learned the importance of audio gain. I I studied video production myself, and they say that if you have bad video but good audio, the bad video can be forgiven. The opposite is not true. If you have good video but bad audio, the bad audio cannot be forgiven. Okay, this is excellent. Okay, good. So there is another dome over here. The satellite is, and there's more domes. So I have been exploring this area over here, but I think it's time for another excursion over there. So basically, this is the aluminum, I'm going to call that the aluminum canyon. I kind of follow it around. But again, do I have the oxygen and the water and the food? Anyway, so if you have good video but bad audio, the entire video cannot be forgiven. But if you have bad video and good audio, the audience will be able to forgive the bad video. And the reason for that, we think, is because... Is that enough oxygen? And the reason for that, we think, is because hearing is the very first sense that develops in the womb, and it's also the very last sense you lose before you die. So, hearing, your hearing stays with you literally the longest sense in your life. And we are very attuned to sound, in the sense that sound can... So even though the speed of light is the fastest thing in the universe, you can't, if you're in a dark room and you put it this way, you can hear the angry lion in the dark before you can see it. And so as an evolutionary response, people will take audio more seriously. There's also, what I've heard is that, bigger animals tend to have they make lower pitched sounds. And that can denote danger. So, for that reason, what I've read is that when you hear an unfamiliar male voice, you immediately are trying to picture what that guy looks like, and that is my understanding is that's an evolutionary response to try to determine, is this person a threat or not. It's also why when in a lot of sci-fi and even in real life, a lot of computer systems have a female voice, just because it's not as threatening. You get into a new car with GPS navigation, or even I've even heard some military aircraft and civilian aircraft, they have the computer voice is female, because you suddenly hear a random unfamiliar female voice, it's not gonna scare you. And other psychological tricks I've heard is that a female voice telling you to do something is perceived as helping, whereas a male voice telling you to do something is perceived as commanding. So, anyway, audio is very important. So when I realized that my audio gain was too high, I fixed it. I'm waiting for the audio. Well, you can see I'm waiting for these to grow so I can be prepared for that excursion. I wish you could put a marker on the map, which you cannot. At least I don't think you can. See, I want to put a marker over there. I wonder if I should. I need to go due northeast. So in this case, You know what? I should make a compass. You know what? No, I'm not going to do that. I was in the Boy Scouts. I can find my way around. Without a compass, if necessary, you just look at the sun. So, I'm going to do the Boy Scout thing and go to that excursion due northeast and not use a compass. Although a compass is one of the 10 essentials of camping. Do I remember the 10 essentials? Oh man, let's see here. First aid, fire starter, compass, water. Some Boy Scout. Although that was 24 years ago. To hell with it. I'm going to set landmarks. One thing we were taught was to have a great respect for nature. Is this cliff face too high? Did I just go in the wrong area? Well, I might be able to... Yes, this is good. This is why you have jetpacks. This is also why I like to go up high. When I was playing Minecraft, I would usually build towers. You see, just as I suspected, I am in the right area because I was studying the map and I was setting mental landmarks. Anyway, in this very game, I'm making my base. I'm calling it the Tower of Power. I like to build towers because I can look around my surroundings and start making plans. For example, when I was playing Minecraft, I would always build towers so that I could look down upon my surroundings and start making decisions. Like, okay, this area would be good for a farm. This area would be good for a animal farm. This place would be good for, say, quarantine activated environment. Until 1 part per million oxygen. Okay, that's quite a ways away. Anyway, I would look, this would be a good place for my tree farm. This would be a good place for my food farm, for self-reliance. This would be a good place for my livestock. So it was always good to do that. I wonder if, okay, so I need to wait until greater pressure. I like this. I like this exploration. Oh, that's a big tree there. Oh, you know what? These structures here, these might be the Tech 3 or 4 biodomes. Let me check on that one, actually. No, I cannot. Not until I need to look at the blueprint screen. But you can build these huge biodomes. Okay, let's see what's over there. Will I be able to find my way back? Well, of course I will. What kind of Boy Scout would I be if I didn't set my landmarks properly? The Boy Scouts, we are taught that if you get lost, you use the STOP method. S-T-O-P. It stands for Stop, Think, Observe, Plan. And the idea behind that one was that if you're lost somewhere, one of the worst things you can do is keep walking around because you might end up getting even more lost. You want to set landmarks, natural landmarks that are unchanging. You want to stop, think, observe, plan. So stop what you're doing. Don't wander any further. Think about your steps, how you got there. Retrace your steps if necessary. Observe your surroundings, see if there's any landmarks, and then plan your way back. Where I found a lot of the Boy Scout training came back was when I started driving a car. And if I were to get lost when I was driving my car, I used the stop method. Okay, so that area that I just explored, there's nothing going on there. I was hoping... So this is a sandstorm. Again, I do not know what the sandstorm really does in this game. I was hoping that this would be a meteor shower. At least it can deliver some minerals. I'm looking for supply crates. Maybe they have some goodies in them, particularly blueprint chips. Okay, this is interesting. This is new. Yes, I know I'm running out of oxygen. I have my oxygen canisters. I like the exploration in this game, I gotta say. Do I have enough to get back? Probably. Can I climb this cliff face with my jetpack? Yes, I can. This is interesting. Equipment. Okay, that's just a... Okay, I want to get to the top there. The game developers, if you're watching, I know I'm probably cheating. You probably intended me to go some other way, but I'm using the jetpack to climb the cliff face. Okay, well, I'm not doing it there, but I want to see what's in here. The fact that I'm clipping through the... Is there an invisible wall there? Almost looks like... Well, the fact that I'm clipping through... Okay, now I can finally build a sign. There you go. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. But anyway, the fact that I am clipping through the rock face here could mean that the developers never intended for me to actually go here. It's just a visual asset, as opposed to an actual collidable object. Come on! The angle's too steep. I cannot fly up there. Okay. Okay. Alright. Maybe I'll go back over here. Where are we right now? I am 99% sure that this is... I'm heading toward that excursion place. Actually, I should save right now. I unlocked the ability to create a sign. Well, I'll go do that. Again, setting landmarks. Where am I? I am 99.9999% sure that I am back at this excursion area where I found those 3 key cards and the nuclear reactors. How did I know that? Because I've memorized my surroundings and landscape and set landmarks. Now, it would be very embarrassing if I was wrong about that. And we will find out shortly. Yes, this is I am exactly where I thought I was. Actually, I do have there is some unopened crates. There was a quote I heard once. I don't remember who said it, but it was a very good quote about maps and exploration, and the quote goes, "I may not have gone where I intended to go, but I ended up where I needed to be." Well, okay, I suppose I don't really need the iron. The quote is, "I may not have gone where I needed, or I may not have gone where I intended to go, but I ended up where I needed to be." I forgot who said that. That was a good one. Now, it's faster to fly, but let me see, is there anything else? The iridium rod is valuable. The zeolite is valuable. That's used later. Drink the water. There's, well, that later. I always think this girder here I can deconstruct because it does look very similar to those other girders that you can deconstruct. Actually, maybe I will look down here a bit. Maybe there's a storage crate or something down here, or it's just a bunch of blue crystals. I got some cobalt. How do I make a sign? Okay, 1 magnesium. Yeah. There is a storage crate. Excellent. I hope it contains a blueprint chip. It does not. That's too bad. Blueprint chips are what I want. Yeah, they were definitely mining here. Can we mine the real-life moon in orbiting Earth? Yes, it's possible. We don't. Well, we think that the moon has helium-3. It has, I think it has some oxygen. I guess I could link a video of that in the description. Oh, now I'm exploring a canyon. I do really want to go up. Okay, it looks like there's some wires there. That's, almost out of oxygen. There we are. Question is, do I go back? I think I have the resources to go back. Yes. I want to get up there, though. But I don't want to have to loop around it in some roundabout way. Instead, I'm just going to fly up here. No, you cannot use the ice. Come on. Come on. Come on. Damn it. Okay, so I think, so here's what I cannot use the ice as easily. What I believe to be happening, let me look at, because, oh really? Melts at 20 gigaterraformation index? That'll take me forever to get to that point. Anyway, what I was going to say was, what I believe to be happening is, as evidenced by the rocket launches going in all directions, I do believe that the ice is actually, the collidable object of the ice in this game is actually changing shape as the planet heats up. And so what I think is happening is that the jetpack is having problems. Don't tell me. 150. Oh, okay, that's not too bad. Here we are. This is what I want. So I think that the jetpack is having some issues. Okay, pressure multiplier. We'll want that later. Because the game is trying to make me collide with an ever-changing collidable object, if that makes sense. Come on. Okay, this is interesting. Got more ice. Okay, so it looks like this is a big city biodome type structure. So is this one. There's a rover in there. Well, there's a couple of rovers. Melts at 150 million. Notice my excursions are getting longer. My oxygen tank is getting bigger. I'm having more food. Can I get down in there? You know what would be nice is as a zoom function, maybe binoculars as a module. A looking glass. Or a spyglass. What am I trying to say? Telescope. This is probably, quarantine. Well, Okay, maybe there's a supply crate somewhere. A lot of snow. Interesting fact, Titan is a moon of Saturn. And Titan is so cold that instead of having oceans of water, it has oceans of liquid methane. And apparently its mountains are made out of water ice. We landed a probe on Titan. That was the Cassini-Huygens probe. Named after, if I'm right, there was a Dutch astronomer who, I think is Dutch, who discovered Titan. And his name was Huygens. And we landed a probe on Titan and was actually able to take pictures. I could link it in the description. And it touched down on the surface of Titan. And it only lasted about 45 minutes before it froze. Can I climb this? Well, no, but I can fly up there. There's the Cassini-Huygens probe. The Russians landed a probe on Venus in the 1970s. Those are the Venera missions. And the Venera probes had the opposite problem of the Titan probes because Venus was so hot and the pressure was so great, the Venera probes melted down in about 45 minutes. But they were able to take pictures of the surface of Venus. And they were even able to record some sounds. I knew it. There would be an access card. I want to explore this area. I really do. But I might not have... the vehicle station. I don't care. Okay, now this is excellent. This is where I used those explosives I had earlier. Those explosives I found in those crates. This is what they're used for, but I do not have them on my person, so I'm going to have to go back to my base and get them. Maybe that'll be in the next video. I love the exploration in this game, especially since this is a new map. You need to make sure not to get lost. I will say, navigating an interior space. Okay, these are Terra tokens. You can use these to purchase in-game items. Eventually you build a trading rocket and you can buy like special blueprints, for example. I'm looking for blueprint chips. If I get lost here, I will die. Yeah, interior spaces are a little more difficult to navigate just because there's not really, natural landmarks. Okay, more debris to be detonated with explosives. I suppose I probably should leave the debris alone. Okay, excellent. A fusion reactor. What you do is you put in a fusion cell and this will unlock doors. This is another excellent. You need 2 of these, okay? So I need to find one. It's going to be in a small crate. How do I know these things? Because I've experienced all of this before in my playthrough on the planet Prime. For example, this door is locked, but once I activate the fusion reactor, then I can come in here. I want to explore more, but I also kind of don't because I'm worried I'm going to get lost. I'm not finding any blueprint chips, which is what I'm really after. I mean, these are providing aluminum, which is good. Aluminium, sorry, which is good. I need to get back. I think I'm going to get lost. I have a feeling I'm going to get lost. My landmarks are sort of the boxes that have nothing good in them. And I have my beacon here, yes, but I cannot, I cannot just run through this wall like a ghost and get to the beacon. So I do have to kind of go through this maze here. Meandering, a mazy motion. Here's another landmark. I could drop ore as my landmark. I remember dropping this. There was a poem, Xanadu did Kubla Khan, the stately pleasure dome decree, where Alf the sacred river ran through caverns measureless to man, down to a sunless sea. Later on in the poem, he talks about the forest meandering, a mazy motion. One of my favorite poems. Apparently it came to me, oh, I'm running out of oxygen. Yeah, I definitely need to get back because I only have 2 oxygen bottles left and I'm way out. There's no battery. I can leave this light on indefinitely. Yep, I definitely need to get going because I only have 2 oxygen bottles left. So anyway, that was one of my favorite poems, Xanadu by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. In Xanadu did Kubla Khan a stately pleasure dome decree, where Alf, the sacred river, ran through caverns measureless to man, down to a sunless sea. The next verse, so twice 5 miles of fertile ground, where something girdled around something athwart a cedar cover. I do remember the last verse, though. That sunny dome, those caves of ice. I forgot what kind of a scholar am I? I forgot that poem. That sunny dome, those caves of ice, take something, wrap it round it thrice. And those who should cry should see them there. And they should cry, beware, beware, his flashing eyes, his flowing hair, and all should come and see them there. So, God, I need to remember that. For he on honeydew hath fed and drank the milk of paradise. These structures kind of remind me of Ozymandias. And on the pedestal these words appear. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remains, round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare. The long and lonely sands stretch far away. The idea was that Ozymandias was a pharaoh, and he built great works like the pyramids, similar to people building great works here, and he thought he was undefeatable and invincible. Wow, the beans just filled me up completely. Look at that. Ozymandias thought himself a god, undefeatable, untamable, unclaimable. Yet, the only thing that we know about him, in this poem at least, is a destroyed statue with his name on it, and he is a king of nothing at this point. It sort of is a commentary on how time fades. You cannot stop the passage of time. Actually, I'm going to make a sign here. Magnesium. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remains round the decay of that colossal wreck. Okay, let's see here. Do I have enough room? The Tower of... Hey, it worked. The Tower of Power. I'm going to make 4 sides here. I was watching the YouTube channel of the Chernobyl Explains. RBMK reactor. Okay, now just for... You know, why did I do that? Why did I just consume an oxygen canister when I could have just walked inside the house? Anyway, can I put a sign on the ground? Okay. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's how I will make the sign. Signpost. Okay, now. Here's a joke in that physics. Okay. Can I put the sign on here? Yes, I can. Beware. Really? Okay. Come on. Okay. Really? I could terraform a planet, but placing a sign on a light post, I can play God, but if I dare try to put a sign on something, yeah, I think you see where this is going. There we go. We got ourselves some RBMK reactors, which stands for really badly made kettle. No, it doesn't. That was a physics joke. Anyway, hopefully these don't explode and cause another Chernobyl. The Tower of Power would become the Tower of Death. Yep, really badly made kettle. Yeah, what the hell kind of nerd am I that I find that funny? Anyway. Yes. Really badly made kettle. Well, I think that might be a good stopping point for this video. Where are my explosives? Here we are. I might as well drop off some of this. We don't really need the iron. Well, I think I'll get some explosives. And so I'm prepared. Are there any more explosives? No. What's my kilowattage at? Probably 81. That's fine. Yeah. Well, I think I'll have some water. Collect that. Maybe I'll make some more oxygen. Where's the cobalt? Did I pick up cobalt? I picked up 1 cobalt. I can't wait for the terraformation. What is that one? What is my pressure at micro? Okay. Anyway, I cannot wait for the terraformation to reach a level of oxygen so that I no longer have to keep making oxygen bottles out of cobalt. Notice, got a little more cobalt here. 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 8. I'll make the oxygen real quick. Then I will probably end this episode. All right. 5%. Almost. Yeah, I'm almost at 5% of the way to the water cycle. All right. Anyway.